Well, newly obtained records of New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy's taxpayer-funded expense account shows more fun than business. Governor Murphy now being questioned after spending nearly $12,000 of taxpayer money on food and drinks at MetLife Stadium. Things that include a Taylor Swift concert, Major League sports games, even a hip-hop music festival, paying upwards of nearly $3,000 at one of these events. The governor's office now asking the state Democratic Party to reimburse taxpayers for the entertainment. Politico reporter Daniel Hahn, who obtained the records and wrote this article, joins us live. Daniel, thank you so much for being with us. I just went through some of the expenses. What are some of the most egregious expenses from what your reporting found?
Yeah, so we found that New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy spent nearly $12,000 at MetLife Stadium for food and drink at events, including, as you noted, a Taylor Swift concert and a New York City radio station hip hop music festival, which featured Cardi B and Meek Mill. In addition to that, there were also food and drinks at sporting events.
All right. So Daniel, we were talking about this in our planning meeting, and I have to say a lot of people on my team, including myself, pretty surprised at this. So now the governor's office is asking the state Democratic Party to reimburse this. Why would the Democratic State Committee be covering this type of spending in the first place?
Yes. So what the governor's office told us is that at the time of these expenses, it was actually expected that the state Democratic Party would come in to pick up the tab. However, the governor's office cited staffing transitions at the state Democratic Party, which ultimately left the state to pick up the tab for it. So now, after us inquiring to them on these expenses, the governor's office is asking the state party to reimburse the state for the food and drink at MetLife Stadium, and the state party has said that they are looking into the matter.
All right, so Daniel, is there any possibility that the Governor Murphy, will have to pay this back out of his personal finances?
That remains to be seen. The Governor Phil Murphy is a very wealthy man. He comes from a background at Goldman Sachs. But, will he ultimately open up his own personal pocketbook is not something I have personally heard. I think we'll have to take a look at what the state Democratic Party decides to do.
All right, so my producer just in my ear told me extra guac, $45 there. Daniel, is this type of spending out of the ordinary for politicians and for governors specifically?
It's actually interesting because if you look at if you take a step back in New Jersey gubernatorial history, former Governor Chris Christie found himself receiving a lot of headlines for something very similar he did. In 2015, it was reported that he actually spent $82,000 from the very same expense account that we're talking about right now at MetLife Stadium for food and drink. That situation is a little bit different because while those expenses were incurred in 2010, 2011, Governor Christie proactively had the state Republican Party reimburse taxpayers for the cost of that entertainment.
All right, I do have to say, I hope my bosses are watching right now. I really would like to talk about an expense account. Daniel, before we let you go, talk to us, though, about the importance, this is very serious, of doing this type of reporting and holding our politicians accountable.
Look, what I would say is that looking at how taxpayer funds is a bedrock of journalism. We look at how politicians are spending money, and it's up to people to decide whether or not they think it is or is not appropriate.
Well, Daniel Hahn, Politico reporter, we certainly appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking with me. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.